Hello, friends, and welcome to today's live level up conversation. Whether you're tuning in live or joining me on replay, thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Wednesday. Let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Market updates. Speed round. Award-winning financial pro. And now, get ready. I present to you Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. I'm Winnie Sun, your host, an award winning financial pro, a Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member and contributor as well. We're streaming here live and several social media platforms. So jump in, say hello, introduce yourself. It's great to see so many friends joining us on all the different platforms today. And let's get started and tell you how the market's doing currently. Of course, the market hasn't closed yet. We still have a little bit of ways to go here, but currently the Dow is down about 1.5 points, like barely 1.5 here. So just barely in negative territory, but the NASDAQ is down pretty heavy today. We're currently down almost 200 points, down 196 currently. And the S&P 500 is down 39 points as well. So unfortunately, negative across the board. The NASDAQ, of course, experiencing a pretty significant decline today, primarily because of some of the tech giants and some of the sort of sector pressure that you're seeing here. There's been a lot of valuation concerns with the tech sector. Of course, they are actually giving pretty decent estimates on quarterly results. However, the tech sector, as you know, is currently trading significantly higher in terms of valuation, at approximately 29 times its 2024 earnings, which investors like us don't like to see, right? We like to see good earnings, but we also like to see relatively reasonable valuations as well. Want to say a big welcome to many people on the show today. I see, wow, lots of people coming in today. Kales, it's great to see you here, and CrossX Fighter on YouTube Live. Always a treat to see you, and it's great to see you, Joshua. Thanks so much for making the time and being here with us always. Well, let's continue on because, as you know, investors are really focused on today. And why is it that today is such a big day? Well, as you remember, the Federal Reserve has now gone on its second day. So the rate decision in terms of interest rate hiking, dropping, staying the same, that decision should be coming very, very soon today. And that is a concern for investors. The Fed Fund futures market has priced in sort of a 98% probability, as reported by CNBC, that the central bank will probably maintain their rates currently unchanged. But you and I, of course, want to see some hints that the central bank's policy might start to get a little bit more open to possibly decreasing interest rates. Now, a lot of people have been sitting on the sidelines hoping that occurs, right? Looking to purchase a new home or to refinance their home. And for people who are sitting on large amounts of credit card debt, they certainly are hoping that rates come down. Now, on the flip side, if you have quite a bit of money in the bank, right, the interest rate that you're receiving on the bank is probably higher now than you've seen in quite a long time. So you might not be in such a hurry. But nonetheless, that would indicate that inflation concerns were starting to get a little bit better. But based on what we're seeing in other news, I don't know if we're quite there yet. So I don't think we're going to get any sort of a rate cut, but they're really hoping to hear that the Fed is sort of hinting that we would have rate cuts sooner than later in 2024. But the anticipation now is that the Fed is adopting perhaps a later and fewer approach, implying that the Fed could actually commence rate cuts later than the market would be expecting now. So, all eyes on the Fed meeting. Hopefully, we'll hear soon. Probably, it could even happen after the market closes here. We don't know, but I'm sure we'll have more to talk about that later in the week. Now, speaking of things that are in the news, I wanted to make sure that this was something that was on your radar and you really get your thoughts on what you think about this number. Now, If you've been following the financial news, you know Elon Musk is never someone who stays out of business news for very long. And congratulations, Neuralink, one of his companies, had a development this week that we talked about earlier already. But Elon now is in the news for something he probably isn't as happy about, and this is his compensation package. Because unfortunately, a Delaware judge now has ruled against Elon Musk's entitlement to a landmark compensation package that Tesla awarded worth $55 billion. Now, you might be wondering, like, what does a Delaware judge have to do with the compensation program of a CEO of a company called Tesla? Well, the ruling by Chancellor Kathleen Jude McCormick comes after a shareholder lawsuit occurred which accuses Tesla directors and Musk of breaching their duties and unjust enrichment. So shareholders are saying that the compensation package should never have been active. In fact, it should be voided due to, they said, like not legitimate negotiations and really misleading disclosures. And defense attorneys are saying that, of course, that's not the case, and that the pay plan was fairly negotiated by an independent compensation committee with, of course, the lofty performance milestones that Elon had to meet in order to get that compensation program. But currently, Elon was not considered a controlling shareholder because he owned less than one third of the company at that time. However, there's still a lot of talk about how the compensation package just wasn't decided on fairly, and that there wasn't that independent review to make sure that it was accurate. And it's just such a huge compensation package that at this point it looks like it's just not going to happen. Now, as you may remember, Elon had previously challenged Tesla's board for a new compensation plan that would give him then a 25% stake in the company. He actually shared this on X, which was previously known on Twitter as well. But I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Do you feel like the judge should stay out of this compensation program or package that was awarded to Elon Musk by Tesla? Or do you think it's somewhere where, they should get involved? And is there a appropriate number? I mean, $55 billion, a lot of money. Should it be like 50 billion? Like what? I didn't even know. Like that's just a lot of money, but granted, Elon Musk is a very, very smart guy. Look at what he's developed at Tesla. So we got to give credit where credit is due sometimes too, right? All right. So on to our next story. Let's talk about this. I think you're going to enjoy this one. We talked about the Apple Vision Pro not that long ago, but of course, we knew it's $3,500. We knew it's groundbreaking for Apple and it looks really, really cool. And we also talked about on the loop about would people actually wear this gadget? Well, right now it looks like it's definitely a gadget that people would probably want to wear in their homes, like when they're by themselves, probably not something you'd be walking out on the street with, just because it's quite a big of hardware still that would be on your face. And then it might look a little strange walking around with this. But this product, as we talked about, starts at $3,500 and actually goes up from there, just like an iPhone or iPad. The more storage you get, the more expensive the device gets. Well, this is Apple's first major gadget release since they unveiled the Apple Watch, which, believe it or not, was back in April 2015. Didn't even seem like it was that long ago, but yeah, it's crazy how quickly time flies. Well, of course, this is a really unique and enjoyable experience, they're saying, and they're promising that this is going to be the future of computing and entertainment. So there was an article that came out on CNBC today, which actually had someone try this Vision Pro and gave us their review and thoughts on the product. And I gotta say, overall, it sounded very, very good. Now, this product has a high quality display and powerful M2 processor, which, if you know, the Apple, new a lot of the new MacBook Pros have the M1 or M2 chip, and this M2 chip is quick. It's so powerful. And to think that in such a small device that there's an M2 chip, you can imagine how enjoyable this experience is. This is very simple, similar to what you would find in your typical Mac computer. Now, this headset even has its own Apple Store, but it also supports over a million iPhone and iPad apps as well. And they're saying that this really was able to eliminate some of the things that you didn't like from cheaper headsets, such as something they call the screen door effect, which offers a crisp and immersive experience. So this thing looks really cool. It's like you can watch movies on it, you can check apps at the same time, you can even surf, and it even gives you that spatial audio experience. And they said the built-in speakers are incredible and really give you that surround sound feel. So, you know, I gotta ask you what you think about this, but so far the reviews look very good. People are really enjoying sort of the 3D version of seeing yourself in FaceTime. And although not some of the really popular apps aren't yet available on this device, such as Netflix and I think Spotify as well. But some of the things that people love is sort of this new keyboard and the fact that I guess it can recognize your hand movements and your eye movements. And they said it's actually very intuitive that way. So currently $3,500. And they're saying that, I think they released initially about 200,000 of these headsets. And based on pre sales, they think they've sold already between 160 to 180,000 headsets during the pre-order weekend. Now, this product is supposed to be available on Friday of this week, and they're saying if you want to test it before buying it, I guess you can even make an appointment at your local Apple store to start previewing and checking it out on this Friday too, which is kind of cool. So I feel like for most people, if you're going to spend $3,500, you'd actually want to test it out. So this is your chance to check it out on Friday, but maybe not. Maybe you're ready to go. And if that's the case, you can pre-order the Apple Vision Pro, I guess, right on Apple's website or even like via your iPhone or iPad, and you can just get it done. But yeah, expensive device, but looks like it's going to be a lot of fun for those who are early adopters. I don't know. I'm not yet ready to part with so much money for something like that. I just don't see myself using it that much. But maybe for you, that would be the thing that you would do. And they're saying that if you're going to get this thing, you probably want to add Apple Care. And I guess Apple Care coverage for this device is about $500 too, $499, or you can pay like 25 bucks a month. So still not cheap, but it looks interesting. Yeah, it looks fun. And maybe, hey, maybe if you get it, you can watch Level Up Live on that and let me know how that goes. But that could be really, really fun too. All right. So our next story I'm going to segue over is this. You know, it's one of those things, it's one of those necessary evils. You heard it, right? It's tax season, and tax season is officially here, my friends. I know it's like you talk about the holidays and then you're talking about New Year's and then you're like, it's almost February. Tomorrow's February. That's crazy. But now tax season is officially here. And these are some of the things that you want to know before you file your 2023 taxes. That's right. First things first, let me just say if you didn't pay attention to it already, like your mail is coming in right now, those tax statements are coming in. I recommend just getting a box ready. I have mine ready and it has a post it that says 2023 tax season. And like just every tax form, just put it in the box because that's what you're going to want to do. Right. In fact, I actually got this is how much I do because we do business taxes. I have to do my business taxes. My accountant does the taxes, but we have to organize everything. I even got these like handy like envelope openers. Let me see how many there are. That's how many envelopes we're going to go through this year just for tax season. So of course, some of that's going to go to my team. It's not going to be for me, but nonetheless, tax season is here. And these are some of the things that you want to know. First off, of course, we know that filing taxes is essential to avoid penalties. No surprise there. But I also want to share with you a couple tips just in case you didn't know. First and foremost, know your deadline, right? This year, it's for most everybody, it's going to be April 15th, unless you're in a state that has had certain, disaster areas and whatnot. If you're in one of those areas, you probably know. And if you don't know, check with your accountant. I'm sure your accountant knows that for sure. And also, you want to refer to last year's tax return. That's a really good tip. So take a look at your last year's return and see sort of what financial data that was necessary for you to file taxes and just try to duplicate that for this year so you're not missing anything. The other thing is if you've had any major changes in life changes and whatnot that could impact your tax liability, you want to make sure to note that as well. So Those are just some of the quick ones. Of course, there's a lot more, and a lot of this information can be found on the IRS website, of course. But also, one thing that we really want to make sure that you know is that you actually don't have to pay to have your taxes filed, because now there are free filing options, such as the IRS Direct File Program. Now, that's going to be available in select states and for specific income situations. But despite sort of the free tax filing options being available, 70% Americans, um, through the IRS Free File Program, only 4% of eligible taxpayers actually use it. So we definitely want to get the word out. You don't have to pay someone necessarily to file your taxes. I certainly do. I have business taxes and personal taxes, and I have a really great accountant that I trust completely. But if you're one of the 70% that could file their taxes free, definitely check that out. Okay. It's on the IRS website, lots of information there. And don't forget, the sooner you file usually also can mean that the sooner you get a refund if you qualify for a refund. So lots of good opportunities there. And of course, the volunteer income tax assistance program also does offer what they call in-person tax preparation for those who are earning less than $64,000 a year, and those with disabilities as well, or limited English speaking abilities. There are people out there that can help. So lots of options. If you're not sure, just go to the IRS or go to Google and type in free IRS tax filing. And there's a lot of great options out there. And speaking of lots of great options, we got something coming up that's really fun. I want to personally invite you to. In fact, it's happening in about 15 minutes here. Okay. We are going to have our big tweet chat of the week. It's Wednesday, which means the hashtag Winnie Sun tweet chat is going to be happening on Twitter/X, whichever you prefer, right? This session that we're going to have in about 15 minutes is going to be really, really fun. It features our expert Rich Perry, and we're going to talk about plans to boost your business for 2024. Now, this is a great chat if for those of you who run a small business, who are thinking about running a small business, or just want to come out and talk goals and dreams and all things entrepreneurship. Join us in about 15 minutes right on Twitter or X, whichever you prefer, and do a quick search for hashtag Winnie Sun. And we're gonna have a question, we're gonna have about 14, 15 questions that we're gonna share out. And we're gonna have a lot of people joining us from all over the globe, answering these questions and talking to each other, interacting, engaging, and making new friends. It's one of the nicest and friendliest tweet chats out there, and we would be honored to have you join us. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I think I went through the questions already and answered most of them because I do a lot of engaging during that time. But yeah, come in and say hello. It'd be great. And of course, thank you so much, my friends, for being a part of today's Level Up. Currently, let's check back in the market. The Dow is down 5, S&P 500 is down 35, and the Nasdaq still down 185 points. So unless things turn around, we might be ending up in negative territory today. But hopefully, some good news comes from the Fed. We'll wait and see, of course. Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay updated on all things business content. And of course, watch full episodes of Level Up with Winnie Sun at NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, Samsung, LG, and Roku. And of course, if you're able to, please share this show on social media and tag at Winnie Sun to show your support so I can properly thank you in a future episode. And with that, check out Yes Factor with Winnie Sun on Apple Podcasts and the LinkedIn Podcast Network. We've got new episodes coming very, very soon. They're in production right now. I think they're gonna be delivered and ready for you very, very soon. So check that out. And I can't wait to talk to you again very soon. I'm going to be seeing you back on Friday for In the Loop. With that, take care. Have a great Wednesday and Thursday, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye now.